Part 109. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1081. Chapter 1081 Jun Chennai's Chocolate. Yu Lingfeng asks Xia Ying what she meant when she told him to be careful that day. Xia Ying said what Jianyin said and felt that something bad was going to happen recently. Yu Lingfeng originally didn't believe in Jianyin's fortune-telling theory, but now it seemed that the boy was not just an embroidered pillow, and what he said really had some credibility. However, now, Yu Lingfeng hopes that Jianyin's is talking nonsense and that everything is fine and nothing bad will happen. Even Yu Lingfeng himself found such a hope ridiculous. Yu Lingfeng called 11 Ju's name, and 11 Ju suddenly appeared. "What's the matter, master? Come with me to the basement." When Yu Lingfeng said this, his eyes darkened a bit. 11 Ju's eyes widened and he asked in a low voice, "Master, okay, what are you going to do in that place? Go and see him." "All right." With a droopy face, 11 Ju followed Yu Lingfeng to the basement. "He is still asleep, is he thinking too much? If it wasn't for his interference, why would the watch be abnormal? Master, let's go up, the yin energy in this place is too strong, staying here will make people feel extremely depressed." 11 Ju weakly tugged on Yu Lingfeng's sleeve and whispered, "Let's go." Yu Lingfeng just turned around, but in a trance, he seemed to see the man's fingers moving. When he turned around suddenly, he found nothing. Could it be that it was his illusion? He is locked down and should not come out again. It must be a hallucination caused by his recent nervous tension. "Master, he is a dead man now, you don't have to worry at all," 11 Ju said from the side. 11 Ju, but sometimes I feel as if he has never died." 11 Ju was startled and looked at Yu Lingfeng. The expression on Yu Lingfeng's face was so strange to him for a moment. One night before the filming of The Great Doctor started, Jun Chennai uploaded a selfie on Weibo. Not long after, the Weibo server exploded. After the repair, fans started carnival mode. Since Jun Chennai's accident, there have been rumors on the internet that Jun Chennai was disfigured. Even after taking over the filming of the movie, such rumors have not stopped. Because during the annual ceremony, even when Jun Chennai went to receive the award, he still wore a mask and covered his face tightly. Now, Jun Chennai personally broke the rumor. In the photo, Jun Chennai is so handsome and enchanting. Even if it is a bare-faced photo, it is an instant hit for a large amount of new traffic in the entertainment industry. How could such a perfect face be disfigured? If this is called disfigurement, then all the celebrities in the entertainment industry are ugly. Jun Chennai looked at the tearful confessions of fans on Weibo, curled his lips and smiled. He was glad that even though he had nothing, he still had his chocolates. Unique chocolate, especially when he saw the neat nicknames Jun Chennai's Chocolate 56, Jun Chennai's Chocolate 9999, Jun Chennai's Chocolate 102,678, etc., his heart couldn't help but feel warm. Since Jun Chennai released a new song Jun Chennai's Chocolate some time ago, his true fans have changed their nicknames to this pattern to support him and call him. When Jun Chennai saw it for the first time, he was extremely moved. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1082. Chapter 1082. The photo is a bit more handsome than the person himself. Jun Chennai found it incredible. That day, Xia Ying took him to see Yu Lingfeng. He just slept for a while, and when he woke up, his face was healed, with no scars at all, as if he was back to the original time, entertainment, the era of Chennai, the king of the circle. Now that he, Jun Chennai, is back, his era has also returned. At this moment, apart from the public carnival, there is one person who is extremely angry looking at Weibo. "I do not believe." Jun Xianyan shouted loudly, startling the assistant beside him. The assistant's heart immediately jumped and he buried his head low, not daring to look at him. Afraid of getting into trouble. He clearly remembered the time he saw Jun Chennai's face showing such disgusting behavior. How could it be that after such a short period of time, his face got better? Oh, do you really think he is a child? Jun Xianyan turned his head and looked at the trembling assistant beside him with cold eyes. The assistant was frightened by Jun Xianyan's sudden gaze. He was agitated and asked tremblingly, "General, President, do you have any other instructions? Give me your phone." Although the assistant was confused, he had no choice but to do as he was told and obediently handed over his phone. When Jun Xianyan took the phone, the assistant's hands were still trembling. Jun Xianyan cursed, "Trash." The assistant immediately lowered his head and did not dare to speak. Jun Xianyan was just about to anonymously reveal the video of Jun Chennai washing his face on the internet. Suddenly, the secretary came over and said, "President, the third young master is here." Jun Xianyan's fingers that were still editing the content paused. She didn't go to him, but he actually sent it automatically. Well, then he would see with his own eyes what had become of Jun Chennai's face. Appearance. Let him get in. Jun Xianyan's scolding frightened the secretary. The secretary whispered, "Yes. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's always so uncertain. It's really puzzling, especially since Jun Chennai entered business. Jun Xianyan's temper has become even more irritable." Not long after, Jun Chennai walked towards Jun Xianyan's office. The moment Jun Chennai's jade-like face appeared in the office, Jun Xianyan's pupils dilated instantly. This guy's face is really healed? Jun Chennai was wearing a suit, which made him look particularly alluring and ascetic. Even the secretary on the side couldn't help but take a few more glances. As expected, it was Jun Chennai, and his good looks were really worth it. In person, he is even more handsome than in the photo. Jun Chennai saw Jun Xianyan's mouth open so much that he could stuff an egg in it, and knew that he must be surprised to see his face restored. No, to be precise, he should be angry and disbelieving. Jun Chennai sat down on the sofa, looked at Jun Xianyan, and said slowly, "Why, brother, aren't you happy for me when you see that my face is healed?" Snored. Jun Xianyan sneered disdainfully, "What tricks did you do to cover it up?" Jun Chennai stretched out his hand, covered his face, and said slowly and leisurely, "No powder, no concealer, just plain makeup. After all, it is the pinnacle of our Jun family's appearance. I don't dare to ruin it easily." Jun Xianyan twitched the corner of his mouth. "Jun Chennai, do you think I will believe it? I didn't see what your face looked like back then. You've seen what's going on now, haven't you?" Jun Chennai seemed to want to annoy him. Seeing him gnashing his teeth, he spoke more vigorously. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1083. Chapter 1083. The Miraculous Doctor starts. Don't tell me that you came here specifically just to show off your face. Jun Xianyan no longer wanted to continue this topic with Jun Chennai, although he was still looking at Jun Chennai's face intentionally or unintentionally. How on earth did you do it? No matter how powerful you are, you can't leave no scars at all, right? What kind of doctor did Jun Chennai meet? It was too scary. Of course not. Jun Chennai suppressed the expression on his face and looked at Jun Xianyan. "I'm just here to remind you that if you want to do business well, do it well and don't contact those underground gangs. They can help you for a while. It's just because you are useful. If they attack you one day, your life will be at stake, and the entire Jun group will be smeared by you." Jun Xianyan's eyes darkened. "What I do has nothing to do with you. You are just talking about this because you are afraid that I will rise and surpass you. I tell you, you don't have to worry, because it won't take long for me to Jun Zion will return to the top. You are simply crazy Jun Zion. Jun Chennai I reprimanded angrily, I'm telling you, if you collude with the mafia again, I will tell your uncle to cancel your position as CEO. Jun Zion paused, and his eyes were like cold arrows, shooting towards Jun Chennai. Jun Chennai, you'd better stay out of my business. What I do has nothing to do with you. Besides, even if I rely on I can still trip you up. Then remember what you said today, rely on your own ability to trip me up instead of relying on others. In that case, I tell you Jun Zion, you will die miserably. After Jun Chennai said these words sharply, he stood up and walked out. As soon as Jun Chennai left and closed the door behind him, Jun Zion was so angry that he threw the newly purchased tea set at the other side of the door. The assistant looked distressed, and then hurried over to clean up. Damn it! He really thinks he is someone. Jun Chennai, let me tell you, the person who died miserably must be you, not me. The assistant didn't dare to say a word when he heard what Jun Zion said. I have to say that the CEO's temper has become increasingly bad recently. The filming of The Great Doctor has started. Xia Ying packed her things and prepared to go to the set to stay for a few months. Xia Ying has been away for several months, so the company's affairs have been left to Sister Wan to handle. Xia Ying explained this matter to Yu Lingfeng again. Yu Lingfeng nodded and sat on the sofa, with a somewhat absent-minded expression on his face. Yu Lingfeng. Xia Ying tentatively handed over, but Yu Lingfeng didn't respond at all. Xia Ying frowned in confusion, then walked towards Yu Lingfeng, sat next to Yu Lingfeng, and patted his shoulder. Only then did Yu Lingfeng come back to her senses and look at her. Why? Xia Ying sighed helplessly, I should be asking you what's wrong. Why do I feel that you have been acting weird recently? Did something happen? Yu Lingfeng showed a slightly deliberate smile, and Xia Ying saw through the unreality of that smile at a glance. Nothing, just go and film, I'll see you when I have time. Xia Ying suddenly felt a little unsure and felt weird, but she couldn't explain why. Yu Lingfeng, promise me that if something happens, you will not hide it from me. Xia Ying put her hand on the back of Yu Lingfeng's hand. Yu Lingfeng felt the coolness in Xia Ying's palm and nodded without saying anything. Don't worry, nothing will happen. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1084. Chapter 1084. It's time to get sick. With Yu Lingfeng's promise, Xia Ying felt a little relieved. I packed my things and set off to the set. On the night of the first day when we arrived on the set, everyone sat at a big round table, got to know each other, and had a pretty good chat. However, Xia Ying noticed that Xia Ran seemed to have not come for a long time. So, someone in the crowd asked, where is Xia Ran? Why hasn't she come yet? She is probably on the way. I saw her when she came here. She seemed to have a lot of luggage. Another person answered. Jun Chennai had been eating his meal in silence with his head lowered. He did not participate in their discussion or talk about the topic. He was very quiet the whole time. During this period, there were many actresses who chatted with Jun Chennai, but Jun Chennai always responded lukewarmly, and some even didn't want to reply a word. Jun Chennai was sitting next to Xia Ying. Xia Ying saw that he had been silent and didn't speak, so she poked his arm and asked, what's wrong with you? Are you in a bad mood? Jun Chennai looked up at Xia Ying, it's nothing. Xia Ying was puzzled as to why her air pressure had been so low recently, making her feel weird and uncomfortable all the time. Jun Chennai just thought about Jun's enterprise and what wrong I said to him. Since someone in Jun's company wants to harm him, Jun Chennai must be cautious when doing things now. Although he was secretly planning to take back everything he had, he couldn't be too overt, as this would inevitably lead to a second attack from that person. Jun Chennai was not willing to experience something like that a second time. Ronkai also said that it was time for him to become ill. After all, in the eyes of the Jun family, Jun Chennai is a patient with mental problems and may suffer from memory disorder and mental disorder at any time, so he must carry out all this disguise to the end. His great success in business last year would have easily aroused people's jealousy, so this year, he definitely did not dare to do anything too obvious. He was always healthy last year, and with such a strong workload this year, it was time for him to become ill. Jun Chennai planned this in his mind, and then drank the wine in his hand. At this time, Xiao Ran's laughter came in. Everyone looked up and saw a fashionably dressed woman with exquisite makeup sitting gracefully surrounded by a group of people. Xiao Ran raised her lips slightly, showing a faint smile. "Sorry, something delayed me, I'm late." "It's okay, Sister Xiao Ran, we've just started anyway." "Sister Xiao Ran, what brand is your bag? It's so beautiful." Sister Xiao Ran looks much better in person than on TV. I don't know what the tradition is, but as soon as Xiao Ran came in, a group of people started to flatter him, praising Xiao Ran from the top of his head to the nails of his toes. Xiao Ran, such a vain woman, naturally laughed so hard that her branches trembled. Only the new actresses around Xia Ying looked at each other for some reason, probably frightened by this scene. Let me tell you, in the entertainment industry, the person who should not be offended the most is Xiao Ran. The director team is very respectful to this big shot. What is her background? Could it be that she is not better than Xia Ying? When Xia Ying first came, they were not flattering like a pug. What do you know, this Xiao Ran is said to have a gang background. Besides, Xia Ying is not involved in the entertainment industry. The Xiao Ran is the ruthless character. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1085. Chapter 1085. The fun is about to begin. Xia Ying couldn't help but feel funny as she listened to what they said to each other in a lively manner. Xia Ying lowered her head and looked at the cup of milk tea in front of her. She laughed twice as she looked at it. Hearing Xia Ying's laughter, Xiao Ran's originally triumphant face immediately drooped, and he shot at Xia Ying like a sharp sword. "What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? You don't care." Xia Ying seemed to be deliberately trying not to give Xiao Ran face, so she got into a fight with her. Suddenly, the pugs who had just flattered Xiao Ran fell silent and looked at Xia Ying and then at Xiao Ran in confusion. Although the two people didn't seem to say anything powerful, sparks seemed to flicker where the two people's eyes met, and no one dared to say anything. "Xia Ying, you and I have no grudges. You'll know this if you ask yourself." Xia Ying lowered her eyes and slowly began to drink the milk tea in front of her. Xiao Ran's eyes were looking straight at Xia Ying's movements. Then, an imperceptible smile gradually appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Okay, let's get acquainted with each other again." The director broke the deadlock and started to liven up the atmosphere. Everyone skipped this small episode and started talking and laughing. At this time, Jun Chennai suddenly stood up, said he had something to do, and left expressionlessly. As soon as Jun Chennai left, the smiles on the faces of the female celebrities present dimmed a bit. Jun Chennai is not only China's national male god, but also a male in the entertainment industry. With his background in the Jun group, he is talented, good-looking, and single. No matter what, he is super attractive. Therefore, those single female stars very much hope to be with Jun Chennai. Not to mention marrying him, even if it is just a short love, it is still a dream. Falling in love with Jun Chennai is a shortcut in life, and she will definitely become popular in the entertainment industry, just because of the label of Jun Chennai's girlfriend. Therefore, many female celebrities present very much hope that they can win Jun Chennai's favor. During the subsequent dinner, Xia Ying did not participate in their fun. She just held her mobile phone, drank milk tea from her cup, and chatted with Yu Lingfeng. Are the people on the crew easy to get along with? Xia Ying tapped her phone with her slender and white fingers. It's okay, there are just too many flatterers, but there are a few girls with good eyesight. I thought if my acting skills are good, I will sign a contract. Our company has not signed a contract yet. As for the actors. Yu Lingfeng on the other side of the screen laughed lightly. You are really a good and dedicated boss. While working by yourself, don't forget to recruit people for your company. Yu Lingfeng, I miss you. Xia Ying originally typed a line of text just to act coquettishly with Yu Lingfeng, but as soon as she posted it, Xia Ying felt her eyes soar. She seemed to really want Yu Lingfeng. It's really disappointing. Then I will come over and find you later. Good. Xia Ying immediately felt happy. She put down her phone and took a deep sip of milk tea, only to realize that she had reached the end. Xia Ying looked at the empty milk tea cup, and then glanced at Xiao Ran opposite her with her peripheral vision. Xiao Ran had been observing Xia Ying's cup of milk tea, and when he saw that it had bottomed out, he smiled sinisterly. Xia Ying curled her lips, then moved the empty cup aside, thinking silently in her heart. The show is about to begin. My head hurts so much. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1086. Chapter 1086. You can't beat me. What's wrong? A girl next to Xia Ying saw Xia Ying holding her forehead and frowning as if she was uncomfortable, so she came over and asked with concern. I don't know, I just feel dizzy and want to sleep. Xia Ying's voice also became lower when she spoke, her breath was weak, and she looked uncomfortable. Where is your agent? Where has she gone? The girl looked around for a while. Would you like to call her and take you to the hospital? She went out for something and hasn't come back yet. I'll just go to the room and rest for a while, Xia Ying said, and was about to get up. Who knew that just as she got up, she staggered and almost lost her balance. The girl had quick eyesight and quick hands, and gave Xia Ying a hand. Then I'll take you back to rest first. What's wrong with Xia Ying? Are you okay? At this time, people around noticed Xia Ying's abnormality and started asking questions. She said she was dizzy, so I sent her back to rest first. You guys have a good meal, and we left first. The girl said that and was about to help Xia Ying leave. At this time, Xiao Ranteng stood up immediately and said, Hey, wait a minute. The girl paused and asked, What's wrong, Sister Xiao Ran? I've just finished eating and am ready to go back. Xia Ying's room is relatively close to mine. I'll take her back by the way. You have a good meal. Xiao Ran said. Well, Sister Xiao Ran, I'll leave Xia Ying to you. Don't worry, she must have been too tired recently and hasn't eaten much. She has symptoms of hypoglycemia. She will be fine if she goes back to eat a piece of chocolate and take a rest. I often do this too. Xiao Ran acted like a close sister, which invisibly attracted a wave of favorability to herself. With that said, Xiao Ran came over, took Xia Ying, helped her away. The moment Xiao Ran turned around, his kind face suddenly changed expression. Xia Ying must have never imagined that the reason why her agent hasn't come back yet is because she was fired, and she won't be able to come back for a while. Now is the time for her to take revenge and destroy Xia Ying with her own hands. In Xia Ying's room, there was a dandy brother who had been secretly in love with her for many years. Xiao Ran had already planned it. When she sent Xia Ying, who had drunk the problematic milk tea, to the room and was unconscious, the night was over. When Xia Ying's agent came back, he wanted to take her to the hospital. When he opened the door to the room, he found Xia Ying and a man lying naked on the bed. The yellow river cannot be washed clean. With this thought, Xiao Ran glanced sideways at the unconscious Xia Ying, raised the corners of his mouth, and smiled evilly. Ha ha ha, Xia Ying, I'm just saying, you can't beat me. When your reputation is ruined, the position of the heroine will naturally belong to me. Moreover, no one in the entire entertainment industry knows that Xia Ying is a person with a fiancé. The Xia family's little princess Xia Ying, who looks innocent to the outside world, is actually such a disguised slut. Woman, when the time comes, Xia Ying will be reviled by thousands of people, and she, Xiao Ran, will be the proudest one. Xiao Ran was thinking about it while smiling evilly. After arriving at Xia Ying's room, Xiao Ran asked the people around him to leave, and then helped Xia Ying into the room alone. Xia Ying, you must have never thought about it, you will also have today. Xiao Ran whispered this, then opened the door and brought Xia Ying in. At this time, the lights in the room were still off. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1087. Chapter 1087. Xiao Ran is probably having an affair with Fu Ershao. I still want to know. That woman is so cunning, she actually abducted me. Xiao Ran said angrily. Young master, I can't control that much, I have sex, the fun has come, and Xia Ying can't sleep, so I'll sleep with you first to satisfy my craving. The man touched his chin and looked at Xiao Ran with fascination. To be honest, he just touched it and it felt very good. No matter how he said it, he, second young master Fu, had seen countless women, but he was very satisfied with the Xiao Ran in front of him. Seeing that the fat pig's eyes were getting worse and worse, Xiao Ran was about to open the door and rush out. Unexpectedly, as soon as he turned around, second young master Fu pounced on him. Xiao Ran screamed and struggled for a while. Looking for an opportunity, he lifted up his high heels and kicked Xiao Fu in the crotch. He immediately fell to the ground with a wrench in pain, his face twisted, and he couldn't stand up with his mouth shut. Xiao Ran took the opportunity to run out. His clothes and hair were all messed up, and he looked particularly embarrassed. Xiao Ran, grandma is weak, please stop for me. Xiao Fu roared angrily. Xiao Ran didn't run long before he bumped into the group of actors who were coming back to rest after eating. Seeing that Xiao Ran, who used to be so glamorous in the past, suddenly became so virtuous, they all opened their mouths and froze in place, staring at her motionless. Xiao Ran, what's wrong with you? Someone asked this. But Xiao Ran was on the run and had no time to answer their questions. What's going on? Xiao Ran looks like. Shhh, please lower your voice, didn't you say that Xiao Ran cannot speak? I don't know, the entertainment industry is already in deep water anyway, who knows? The actors were talking about this incident while walking, guessing what had happened to Xiao Ran. Then, after walking a few steps, they saw Fu Ershao, who was limping around in his nightgown and walking with difficulty. He was still mumbling, Xiao Ran, you bitch, how can you pretend to be pure when you deliver it to your door? Such a thought-provoking sentence completely confused everyone's thoughts. Everyone stopped in place, not daring to say anything, until second young master Fu left. Just now, it is not difficult to guess what happened to the famous romantic young masters Fu Ershao and Xiao Ran. Both of them were disheveled, which is really hard to think about. Let's go see Xia Ying. Is she feeling better? Someone interrupted the ambiguous and awkward atmosphere and made a suggestion, which was immediately echoed by everyone. Xia Ying had just returned to the room and cleaned up the messy situation when she heard someone knocking on the door. She opened the door and a large group of people came over to express condolences about her condition. Thank you for your concern. I just drank a cup of hot water and feel much better. I'm ready to wash up and go to bed. Xia Ying said with a smile. Well, Xia Ying, we just saw Xiao Ran in the corridor, and the notorious second young master Fu. A gossiping actress asked in a low voice, the two of them seemed to have an affair. But just now, didn't Xiao Ran help you come to the room to rest? What's going on? Xia Ying frowned and expressed confusion, I don't know either. After she helped me over, she left. I don't know about other things either. What do you mean, second young master Fu? Why is he here? That is to say, I think Xiao Ran is probably having an affair with the second young master Fu, so the power behind her is actually the second young master Fu. She is willing to let down her figure. That second young master Fu is really good looking. Thanks to the little cutie Gong Luo, Mohua a reward of 10,000 book coins. There will be an extra update tonight. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1088. Chapter 1088 Fire this waste. As I said, there are many actress sugar daddies nowadays. If you ask me, many of them are not as good as Fu Ershao. At least Fu Ershao is not a bad old man. Okay, why are you talking about this? If Xiao Ran's people hear it, you all know what will happen. A senior actor said this, and everyone fell silent. Then Xia Ying, you have a good rest. We will go back first and won't disturb you anymore. Okay, thank you. Xia Ying closed the door and turned back to the room. Xia Ying was sitting on the sofa, still thinking about what just happened. Xiao Ran must not have thought that she had seen through her plan a long time ago. It's true that Xia Ying likes to drink milk tea. She used to like chocolate-flavored milk tea, but now she likes vanilla-flavored ones. The cup of milk tea just now was chocolate-flavored. Obviously, it was prepared by Xiao Ran, so she took it for granted. I used to like chocolate-flavored milk tea. In addition, Xia Ying looked around, and there was only a cup of chocolate milk tea in front of her. She expected Xia Ying to drink it. Xia Ying also noticed that Xiao Ran would glance at her cup of milk tea from time to time, and when he saw her drinking it, a hint of joy would appear on his face. She was too obvious, and Xia Ying noticed it with a casual test. Xia Ying knew early on that during her filming period, Xiao Ran would not be honest and would find ways to find loopholes to cause trouble for her, so Xia Ying was careful in everything to guard against this Xiao Ran. Xia Ying had a clue that her agent and assistant were not at the same time for dinner tonight, but now that she thinks about it, Xiao Ran probably found a way to get rid of it. It's a pity that Xiao Ran had thought about everything, but he didn't think that her medicines were of no use to Xia Ying. Yu Lingfeng injected a protective chip into her body early in the morning. Xiao Ran's drugs had not yet taken effect and were degraded and ineffective as soon as they entered the body. Because Yu Lingfeng also predicted in advance that a villain like Xiao Ran would definitely use this villain's method to frame Xia Ying. Drugging or something like that was the most commonly used villain's strategy. So Xiao Ran had been plotted against by Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng from the beginning to the end. At this moment, Xiao Ran was still sulking in his room, smashing various things, making harsh noises. Damn it, I clearly watched her finish the cup of milk tea, why is she okay? Xiao Ran looked at a staff member coldly and asked, is it you? Is there something wrong with your medicine? No, 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 there is absolutely nothing wrong with the medicine, I assure you. The man said tremblingly. If there is no problem, then why didn't Xia Ying react at all? Xia Ying yelled angrily, that woman actually turned my army against me, causing me to almost lose my virginity to that old perverted pig, second young master Fu. And you, Xiao Ran pointed at the group of people and scolded, where have you all gone? When I asked you to help, no one was there. If she hadn't used all her strength, she wouldn't have been able to break away from a strong man. Sister Xiao Ran, you asked us to leave the scene early, for fear of being seen and suspected. One person is submissive. Still talking back. Xiao Ran was already furious at the moment. When the man said this, Xiaoran rushed over and slapped her. Others dare to be angry but dare not speak, and lower their heads and dare not speak. Fire this loser. Xiaoran glared at that person, leaving hot fingerprints on her face. She covered her face, tears pooling in her eyes, feeling extremely aggrieved. After Xiaoran finished speaking, he stepped on his high heels and walked towards the bathroom. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1089. Chapter 1089. She has a few days left to live happily. Xiaoran soaked in the bathtub for a long time, constantly scrubbing the parts of her body that had been touched by second young Master Fu. Her lips were red and swollen due to her rubbing. The more Xiaoran thought about it, the more aggrieved she became, and her eye circles became moist little by little. With a snap, hot tears fell down and fell on the back of his hand, burning painfully. Xiaoran. At this time, there was a knock on the door outside the bathroom. It was Qiaonan's voice. Xiaoran paused, wiped his tears, calmed his expression, and said in a cold voice, without revealing any trace, "What are you doing here? I heard what your agent said, come out quickly, I have something to tell you." Xiaoran's eyes darkened a bit. From Qiaonan's tone, he seemed to be mocking her. It took a long time for Xiaoran to come out wrapped in her nightgown. Qiaonan was waiting for her on the sofa with her legs crossed. When he saw her coming, he lightly raised his eyes lingering on her face. "Are you crying?" Xiaoran didn't answer with a cold face and just sat down on the sofa. Qiaonan sneered, "When did you, Xiaoran, become so hopeless that you hide in the bathroom and cry after being wronged? You can just say what you want to say. I don't need you to point out my matters." Xiaoran glared at Qiaonan. This period of filming is indeed a good opportunity to attack Xia Ying, but you have to be smart. This kind of trick is easy to succeed, but it is also easy to fail. She, Xia Ying, has reached the point where she is today, and there is no black spot in the outside world. She is not a simple fool, and without any means, she will not be the Xia Ying she is today, so you should be more cautious when doing things. It doesn't matter if you ruin her, don't drag me into it. Qiaonan said these words slowly and without any expression. I have obviously succeeded, but I don't know why she is fine after taking my medicine. Failure is failure. I only look at the results. You should know this better than me. Qiaonan's words were cold. That's enough, Qiaonan. Xiaoran couldn't stand Qiaonan's cynicism anymore, so he retorted, "You can only accuse me. If you have the ability, why don't you do it? I have always been thinking of ways to deal with it, but you are silently doing nothing. If you don't let one go, what position do you have to accuse me?" They agreed that they wanted to get close to Xia Ying, but with Yu Lingfeng by her side, Qiaonan couldn't succeed so easily. Wasn't she humiliated last time? And up to now, I haven't seen him take any substantive actions. He can only point fingers at her. If he has the ability, why not take action himself? Because Xia Ying already knows that I am Qiaonan, she is already wary of me. If I show up, am I not seeking death? Qiaonan glanced at Xiaoran. What's more, I already have an idea. What's the idea? Xiaoran's eyes suddenly lit up. In a few days, Xia Ying will have a fight scene. I've had her wires tampered with, and I bribed the staff. By then, even if she doesn't die from the fall, she can still be seriously injured, and she won't be able to recover for several months. You can't get out at all. When the time comes, the heroine will be yours. Are you serious? Xiaoran became excited immediately. What are you lying to? It's all been arranged. Just don't show too much excitement and let people notice it. Recently, you should be more honest, because she will have a happy birthday in a few days. Xiao Nan raised the corners of his mouth and took a slow sip of tea. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1090. Chapter 1090. She has too much grudge against me. You'd better not let me rejoice in vain. Xiao Ran snorted lightly. I'm not as stupid as you. At least, I can't think of myself. That's enough, Xiao Nan. Xiao Ran stood up angrily. I'm tired, I'm going to sleep, you can go. Xiao Nan curled her lips slightly and stood up from the sofa. Just as she was about to leave, she thought of something again and turned sideways. Xiao Ran, remember what I told you. Control your temper and don't let others think that you are an arrogant and domineering woman, and you'd better give Xia Ying some face, otherwise if something happens to her, you will be the biggest suspect. I know. Xiao Ran's answer was neither salty nor cold. It's best to remember. Xiao Nan left. Xiao Ran clenched her hands into fists. She had endured it for so many years. For more than 10 years, she had been looked down upon by others. Now that she was in the spotlight, she still had to endure it. She is tired of it. When she takes down Xia Ying, she, Xiao Ran, will feel proud. She wants to stand on the highest peak, overlooking everyone, and let everyone bow to her. Xiao Ran. Xiao Nan bumped into Yu Lingfeng in the corridor. Yu Lingfeng was wearing a black mask, which made his face even fairer. Those deep eyes are so charming that people can't take their eyes away. Xiao Nan frowned. Why did she bump into him here? The two people passed each other and neither of them spoke, like strangers. Yu Lingfeng's eyes were very indifferent, as if he had never seen the person coming. After Yu Lingfeng walked behind him, Xiao Nan stopped and turned sideways, staring at Yu Lingfeng's back. He didn't know why, but he always felt strange in his heart. Is it because of a guilty conscience? No, he, Xiao Nan, has done so many bad things since he was a child. When has he ever felt guilty? He must be overthinking. Xiao Nan left immediately. Yu Lingfeng knocked on the door. Xia Ying opened the door and was surprised. Huh? Why did you come from outside this time? I don't know which room you are in. Yu Lingfeng smiled, and Xia Ying suddenly realized, I forgot to mention it. Yu Lingfeng walked in and closed the door. Xia Ying started to pour water for Yu Lingfeng. Yu Lingfeng sat on the sofa and looked at the room. The conditions are pretty good. Give. Yu Lingfeng took the water and took a sip. I just saw Xiao Nan. Xia Ying frowned. Xiao Nan. Then he was shocked to realize that it was the Xiao Nan who lied to himself that he was Li Sen. What's he doing here? Who lives in the second room to your right? The second one from the right. Xia Ying murmured and thought for a while, then raised her head and said word by word, Xiao Ran. That's right. Yu Lingfeng's eyes were cold. Xiao Ran has a problem with you, and Xiao Nan has a problem with you. I guess they are planning to join forces to deal with you. Xia Ying nodded. What you said makes sense. So you must be extremely careful during this period. The light in Yu Lingfeng's eyes was a bit colder. I will. Xia Ying then told Yu Lingfeng what happened just now. I didn't expect that it was only the first day and Xiao Ran would be so frustrated. Yu Lingfeng lowered his eyes, thinking about something. She has a deep grudge with me. She probably wants to cut me to pieces every time she sees me. Xia Ying sneered. If you need help, just call me. Yu Lingfeng raised his eyes and looked at Xia Ying. No, this is a grudge between Xiao Ran and I want to end it all with my own hands. I will be fine, I still have them. Xia Ying said, lifting the goo insect bracelet on her wrist and smiling at Yu Lingfeng. End of this chapter.